Have you ever felt completely drained after talking to someone? Not because the conversation was deep or heavy, but simply because you were trying so hard to be polite? At a certain age, especially when you enter that golden stage between 55 and 80, you begin to realize something very clearly. Peace of mind matters more than anything else. You stop chasing the number of friends you have. You stop bending over backward to please everyone. Instead, you start prioritizing relationships that feel easy, genuine, and truly meaningful. And yes, not everyone deserves a spot in your circle of peace. Neighbors, relatives, they can be a source of joy, but they can also be the reason you lose sleep, feel anxious, or sense your boundaries being crossed. That is why it is time to be more mindful about who stays in your life and who needs to be kept at a safe distance. Here are the types of people, whether they are blood relatives or the folks living next door, that you should stay away from if you want to protect your inner calm and fully enjoy your peaceful years ahead. Part 1. 3 types of neighbors to stay away from. 1. The taking advantage neighbor. Have you ever found yourself becoming a free assistant to a neighbor who seems nice at first, but is really just looking to take advantage of your kindness? At the beginning, they come across as friendly. They smile a lot and make small talk with genuine interest. But over time, you begin to notice a pattern. They only come to you when they need something. One day it is picking up a package. The next it is watering their plants, watching their house, or even taking on bigger tasks, while you rarely, if ever, receive any help in return. And worse, the thank yous start to fade away. When your kindness is exploited, peace of mind disappears. A neighborly relationship should be a source of support, not a burden that wears you out. When you are always the one giving, but never receiving, you start to feel used, pressured, and, most upsetting of all, disrespected. For older adults, this feeling hits even harder. Your energy is no longer unlimited, and you absolutely have the right to save it for things that truly matter. Set boundaries. You are not always available. Do not hesitate to say no, politely but firmly. If they only reach out when they need something, you can simply say, "I am busy right now. This time is not convenient for me." You can even suggest another solution instead of doing everything yourself. There is no need to be angry or go into long explanations. Just remember this: setting boundaries is not about making others uncomfortable. It is about protecting your own peace. Once you draw the line, they will understand that you are no longer the always available neighbor. From that point on, they will either change their behavior or quietly back off. Either way, you reclaim control over your space and your energy. 2. The nosy, gossipy neighbor. Do you ever feel like you are living in a reality show that you never signed up for? Some neighbors are not interested in you out of genuine care. They just want to dig into your personal life like it is their business. They always seem to be lurking nearby, ears perked and eyes sparkling every time you have a guest over. Change your curtains, or go grocery shopping on a different day than usual. To them, every detail becomes hot gossip for never-ending chit-chat sessions. When privacy disappears, peace of mind follows. At this stage of life, you are no longer chasing excitement or getting involved in invisible neighborhood battles. What you long for is peace, a truly private home, where no one is peeking into your every move. But neighbors like this operate differently. They may knock on your door unexpectedly, ask about your family as if conducting an investigation, or hover around your yard to accidentally catch a glimpse of something. The result? You end up living with a constant sense of unease, not because you are in danger, but because your personal space is being quietly invaded. Even the smallest details can be twisted and spread across the entire neighborhood. Create distance without creating enemies. The solution? Stay friendly, but do not get drawn in. Respond vaguely and neutrally, "Oh, nothing special," or steer the conversation toward safe topics like the weather or general news. Avoid sharing too much about yourself, even things that may seem harmless. If they have a habit of showing up unannounced, you have every right to politely say, "I am resting at the moment. Maybe another time." You can also set physical boundaries, close the yard gate, add curtains, or use small signals that show you are not up for a chat right then. The key is this: you do not owe anyone an explanation about your personal life just to keep the peace. You have every right to carve out a private space, a mental sanctuary where life flows on your own terms. 3. The disruptive, Peace-breaking neighbor. Have you ever tried to enjoy a quiet evening, only to be forced to listen to pounding music from next door? Or find a pile of trash randomly dumped right outside your house? Life is supposed to slow down and become gentler as we grow older. But with inconsiderate neighbors, those who have no regard for shared spaces or how their behavior affects others, your dream home can quickly become a place that drains you day after day. These are the kinds of neighbors who throw loud parties late into the night, blast the television or outdoor speakers at full volume, or simply do not care to maintain cleanliness around the neighborhood. Trash scattered around, broken furniture piled up in the yard, blocked pathways. All of it adds to an overwhelming, frustrating, and unnecessary mess. Peace cannot exist amid noise and chaos. For those in their middle years and beyond, quiet is not just a preference, it is a basic need. Constant disturbances take a toll on both your body and your mind. Poor sleep, irritability, low energy. These things build up over time and slowly strip away your sense of comfort in the very place where you should feel most at ease. You might think, it is just this once. But when the behavior repeats itself, it is no longer a small issue. Speak up the right way, protect your peace without starting a war. Instead of staying silent or letting frustration pile up, you have every right to address the situation in a respectful and constructive way. Approach them calmly, and make it clear that it is the behavior, not the person, you are concerned about. For example, there was a big party last night, and I had trouble sleeping. I hope next time we can check in with each other first. Many people are not even aware of the impact their habits have. But if they continue to ignore your concerns, you are fully within your rights to take the matter to the neighborhood association, local housing board, or residential council. At the same time, consider reinforcing your own space. Use soundproof curtains, create a calming retreat area, or schedule your daily routines to avoid peak disturbance times. Your home is the last domain where you have full control, and you absolutely deserve to live in a space that makes you feel safe, comfortable, and at peace every single day. Part 2. 3 types of relatives to keep at a distance. Have you ever left a family gathering feeling emotionally drained, not because of any major conflict, but simply because your energy had been completely sucked out by your own relatives? Family, the place we often expect to find unconditional love, can sometimes be the greatest source of pressure. Not everyone in your extended family, or even within your own household, brings you a sense of safety and peace. Some people only know how to take. Some make you feel guilty just for living in a way that meets your own needs. Others constantly offer advice you never asked for, delivered with a judgmental look. As you enter the golden years of your life, you no longer have the time or energy to maintain relationships that leave you feeling worn out. Now is the time to be more selective, to decide who truly deserves to walk beside you on this next stretch of your journey, and who needs to be kept at a healthy distance. In this section, we will explore 3 types of relatives you should be cautious with, not out of resentment, but because you deserve a family life that is light, nurturing, and emotionally safe. 1. The relative who only thinks about themselves. Do you have a relative who, every time you see them, the entire conversation revolves around their life? They are struggling, they need help, they are exhausted, and then they get up and leave, without even asking you a simple, "How are you?" Sound familiar? This is the type of family member who always expects others to listen, support, and carry their burdens, but never once considers giving anything back. To them, family is not about mutual sharing. It is more like a recharging station. They stop by to refill their emotional tank, then leave without a second thought. When you become the emotional caretaker in your own family, these one-sided interactions are not just tiring, they are a serious threat to your mental well-being. You find yourself constantly trying to be empathetic, to listen, to help, yet what you receive in return is indifference. Or worse, the assumption that your support is simply expected. Over time, that quiet hurt begins to build, gradually pulling you away from the sense of connection that family is supposed to bring. Keep your distance to protect your self-respect. Just because someone is family does not mean you must sacrifice endlessly. Ask yourself, am I being respected in this relationship? If the answer is no, then it is time to set clear boundaries. Speak up, gently but firmly, and let them know you have your own life. your own problems, and you cannot always be the emotional first responder. You do not need to be harsh, just consistent, and if they refuse to change, it is perfectly okay to reduce how often you see or talk to them. This is not about cutting ties out of anger, it is about choosing to protect the peace within yourself. Something you absolutely deserve. Family should be a source of connection, not depletion. Spend your time with those who truly care about you. People who make you feel comfortable and allow you to be your authentic self. 2. The relative WHO is lazy and chronically dependent. You once extended a helping hand to a family member going through a tough time. But months turned into years, and you began to realize they no longer want to stand on their own. Helping family is natural, especially when someone faces a crisis. But sadly, some people turn that help into a long-term entitlement. They make no effort to improve their situation, instead choosing to live off your support, staying in your home, spending money you send, asking for help again and again, as if you are their lifelong backup plan. When kindness quietly turns into a burden, you might think, they are family, I cannot just abandon them. But as you continue offering support, your own life begins to suffer. Your finances get stretched thin. Your retirement plans get pushed back. You feel trapped and frustrated, watching someone who puts in no effort to change. That sense of imbalance grows stronger over time, especially when you realize you are carrying a responsibility they could very well handle themselves, if they truly tried. And in the long run, this kind of dynamic slowly wears down both your financial health and your emotional well-being. Help the right way, not endlessly. If you truly want to help, do it in a way that empowers them, not enables dependency. Be clear. I am happy to support you for a limited time, but I hope you are also working on finding your own path. Offer practical suggestions, job opportunities, community programs, or official support services. Make it known that your help is temporary, has clear limits, and the ultimate goal is for them to be self-reliant, for their own good, and for your peace of mind. If, after all your efforts, they still refuse to take responsibility, then distancing yourself becomes necessary, not because you are being heartless, but because you are finally choosing to honor your own life. Growing older does not mean taking on more weight, it means learning when and how to let go. 3. The relative WHO borrows money and never pays it back. Few things feel more like betrayal than lending money to a family member with full trust, only to be met with silence, avoidance, or worse, being treated like your help never mattered at all. Money is already a sensitive topic in any family, but some people take advantage of that very sensitivity. They borrow with no real intention of paying it back. Assuming that family does not keep score, they lean on the closeness of your relationship to avoid responsibility, counting on the fact that you will feel too guilty or uncomfortable to ask for repayment. When money is not just money, it is broken trust. For older adults, especially those living on pensions or savings, every dollar is the result of a lifetime of effort. When you lend money, you are not just handing over cash, you are offering trust, goodwill, and sometimes even putting your own plans on hold to help. That is why, when a relative fails to pay you back, you do not just lose money, you lose peace of mind and faith in the relationship. The sense of being used begins to creep in, changing how you see them, and even making you question the value of that family bond. Help smart, not blindly. To protect yourself, you need to set clear financial boundaries. Before lending, take a step back and assess, is this person trustworthy? Have they repaid you or others before? Are they actively trying to improve their situation? If you still decide to help, have an honest conversation about terms, timelines, and expectations. It is okay to write things down so both sides take it seriously. Or, instead of giving cash, consider offering other types of support, like financial guidance, or connecting them with official aid programs. And if you need to say no, do not feel guilty. Saying no does not mean you lack compassion. It means you are prioritizing your own safety and peace. Helping is a kind act, but being taken advantage of is not. You deserve respect, not just in your relationships, but also when it comes to your money. Choose peace, not abandonment. Keeping your distance does not mean cutting people off. It is the choice of someone who has lived, who values peace in their own life. You do not need to argue. You do not need to give long explanations. All you need is clarity, who adds to your energy, and who takes more than they give. Life, especially after everything you have been through, is no longer a place for endless compromise or holding on to relationships that wear you down. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It is how you show love for yourself, and for the relationships that are truly worth nurturing. Choose to be around those who bring you calm, people who make you feel heard, respected, and free to be yourself. When you give your energy to the right people, life becomes lighter, more grounded, and genuinely fulfilling, just as the golden years were meant to be. If this video inspired you, I would love for you to share just one small thought. What did you learn? And what will you do differently starting today? Thank you for being here. Wishing you peace, ease, and a life fully lived.